as I mentioned, I moved permanently to the UK after my master's degree, and still was relatively new to getting around different areas of London. So used navigation apps like Google Maps and City Mapper quite often, but found that they were often taking me the fastest route, which didn't always feel like the safest one. And after one particular incident where I followed the route through an alleyway, which was vacant at the time, but then within a few seconds, there was two kitchen staff who walked out. It escalated quickly. They got up in my face and blocked my way, saying different things that they were going to do, so threatening sexual assault. And I was clearly quite scared in that time, but tried to keep a stern face. And unfortunately, I had been in situations like that before, and got out of the situation, met my friend, told her what happened at this restaurant. And, she also recounted different experiences similar to that. And I couldn't really leave behind that actually there's so many more people following that route, like maybe right now. And how often are these, kitchen staff going to take a smoke break? And I think that started to build that pattern of, wait a minute, there's a lot of information that just happened in that time period and continues to happen with nothing really being addressed. So, I recognize my own kind of, I guess, place in that, like how I was kind of acting, and that I didn't think to report it to the police or to the business. I think it may have crossed my mind, but I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to, be late, and just want to enjoy my night, like forget about this. Here I am, not forgetting about it.
Right.
Ultimate not forgetting about it. So I started to, I guess, sink in this idea of, well, what if a navigation app actually had more safety functionality to let you know about the route that you're walking or the types of experiences people have had, as well as, using the technology to actually maybe personalize routes for different groups of people. So we're not all treated the same, as they've more or less kind of been designed with probably the people who developed them. And so that definitely started to, I guess, motivate me to start talking to a lot more people about this. The resounding kind of feedback was, I can't believe this doesn't exist. And I looked quite thoroughly in terms of, the applications that were out there. There were lots and lots of safety applications about, track my walk or respond in emergency, or 6 friends get this emergency message, but it was very reactionary. And I guess from a public health point of view, you're always trying to look at the more preventative side of, well, what if before I walked into that situation, I had some sort of indication that there would maybe pattern behavior there that I wouldn't want to walk through. So that was, I guess, a bit of the genesis of Safe in the City, using a navigation app or using everyday technologies that could also provide you information about safety and give you the opportunity to input either experiences that you had or the perceptions of safety, so that we could actually tailor the technologies that could be designed while using data and intelligence to actually improve it. So that was the early stages. So Safe in the City now, we're launched in London and Berlin. So it acts like a navigation app, getting you from point A to point B. So it's friendly to anyone to use, because I think often some of the personal safety apps might be for a certain demographic or age group. And this is supposed to normalize that we all want safety information, and we all want the ability to share that to make a difference for someone else's journey, or again, in general, just being able to change the way things have been. And so we developed I guess it's called the MVP in an accelerator program, and which was all about geospatial science, which again was another field that I was starting to become a lot more fascinated with. And we launched on International Women's Day in 2018 in the Mayor of London's or London and Partners office, and it was certainly it certainly kind of kicked off quite a lot of press and conversations. It was around the Me Too movement that people were reporting a lot more. We tried to kind of scrape data to see how people might be reporting, and it seemed like, again, that missing piece of the puzzle was often the location. It was, this happened at this place, or this happened by this person, but then to often create in criminology, you need a location and a time. So we thought, this is actually looking at public safety and personal safety from a very public health point of view. So the app itself is free for anyone to download and use. We're looking at how we're expanding that out and should have some information shortly that we can share with you. So it's primarily getting from point A to point B. You have an emergency button, so should something go wrong, we can quickly get you help to that exact location. We also work with the police to share information to your device if it was a terrorist threat, which we did alert people within 10 minutes of the London Bridge terrorist attacks, for example. So if you were traveling those routes or going to travel that route, that's something that we think everybody should have the right to know and quickly get on their device. So we work with the police to make sure that information goes back. And then so that's kind of what we call our safety toolkit, emergencies. And then we have our non-emergency safety toolkit, which is more around, again, incidents that happen. And we have a traffic light system. So are they physical, verbal, nonverbal, or environmental forms of mostly street harassment? And we also have a scoring of the walk so that at the end you can say you score it based on your perceptions of safety. Even if nothing happened, you're just like, I don't want to walk through alleyways or parks at night, so that we can learn from that and create an algorithm that actually works for you and helps you feel safe in new areas or potentially areas around your home.
Thank you so much for listening to this clip of the Data Talk podcast. To check out the full show or see the full catalog of previous episodes, go to Experian.com/Data Talk.